You have a small patio. Maybe it is a concrete slab, a narrow balcony, or a tiny courtyard that has been sitting empty and uninspiring for longer than you want to admit. You've walked past it every single day, knowing it could be something beautiful, something that makes you want to go outside, sit down, and stay a while. But every time you look at the gorgeous small patio gardens online, they look expensive. They look like they require a designer, a contractor, and a budget you do not have. Here's the truth. They did not. The most beautiful small patio gardens are not the most expensively built ones. They are the most thoughtfully designed ones. And today, we are giving you 10 specific, completely DIY-able ideas that will transform your small patio into a space that looks genuinely luxurious, without the luxury price tag. Let's get into all 10. Before we dive in, if you are new to this channel, welcome to Golden Harvest Living. We bring you honest, practical, deeply researched garden content every single week that helps you create beautiful outdoor spaces on budgets that actually work for real people. Hit that subscribe button right now and tap the bell so you never miss a new video. And if today's content gives you the inspiration and the practical tools to finally transform your patio, a quick thumbs up takes 1 second and helps this reach more people who need it. We appreciate every single one of you. Now, let's go to the video. Okay, let's go to the video. Small patio design has two specific challenges that stop most people from ever truly transforming their outdoor space. The first is the assumption that beauty is expensive, and we are going to dismantle that assumption completely today. The second is not knowing which specific elements deliver the most visual impact in a small space. Because in small space design, the right choices multiply your impact dramatically, and the wrong ones make the space feel smaller and more cluttered than before you started. Today's 10 ideas are specifically chosen because each one delivers extraordinary visual transformation for minimal cost and minimal effort. Let's meet them. Item number 1, the statement container focal point. The single bold planter that anchors the entire space. The statement container focal point. Every beautifully designed small patio has one thing that less successful ones consistently lack: a focal point. A single element of sufficient visual weight that anchors the space, gives the eye somewhere to land, and creates the impression of designed intentionality that transforms a collection of random objects into a curated outdoor room. The statement container is that focal point. One large, bold, beautifully planted container, positioned at the most visually prominent point of the patio, does more for the overall look of the space than 10 small pots scattered randomly across it. The container itself does not need to be expensive. A large plastic planter, spray-painted in matte terracotta or deep charcoal, is visually indistinguishable from expensive ceramic at normal viewing distance. A wooden wine barrel from a garden center or winery creates a warm, naturally aged statement planter for very low cost. A galvanized metal livestock trough from a farm supply store makes a striking industrial chic container of impressive size for $20 to $30. Plant it using the Thriller Filler Spiller formula. One tall architectural plant at the center, one mounding plant to build volume, one trailing plant to cascade over the rim. This formula produces a full, layered, professional-looking planting every single time. Key benefit: one strong focal point organizes every other element on the patio around it, creating the visual coherence that makes a space feel designed. It is the single highest impact investment available in small patio transformation, and it can be achieved for under $30 with a painted planter and a few well-chosen plants. Caution: Resist the temptation to create multiple focal points by making several containers equally large and bold. Competing focal points confuse the eye and make a small space feel cluttered. One statement container. Everything else supports it. Item number 2, the vertical wall garden. The living wall that turns dead boundaries into lush features. The vertical wall garden, using wall-mounted planters, pallet planters, or pocket systems. In a small patio, your walls and fences represent significantly more surface area than your floor, and yet most people leave those surfaces completely bare. A vertical wall garden transforms your largest available canvas from a plain background into a lush, living, dimensional green feature that makes the space feel dramatically more enclosed, more intimate, and more abundantly planted than any ground-level arrangement of equivalent area could achieve. The simplest version uses wall-mounted planter brackets, a few dollars each from any garden center, to hold standard pots directly on the wall surface at varying heights. 3 to 5 pots in a loose, asymmetric arrangement looks far more designed than a rigid grid. The most affordable and most striking version is the pallet planter, a free wooden shipping pallet stood vertically against the wall, with a plywood back panel added and each horizontal slot lined with landscape fabric and filled with potting mix. One free pallet creates 15 to 20 individual planting spaces in a 4-foot by 4-foot area, an extraordinary density of planting in essentially zero floor footprint. Plant it with cascading herbs, trailing succulents, compact flowering perennials, and fragrant plants at nose height for a sensory experience that no purely visual display can match. Key benefit: the vertical wall garden solves the small patio's most significant challenge, limited floor space, by moving the planting off the floor entirely. It simultaneously makes the space feel more enclosed, more garden-like, and more lush, without occupying a single square inch of valuable patio surface. Caution: wall-mounted systems carry significant weight when planted and watered. Ensure all fixings are appropriate for the wall surface and rated for the load. A pallet full of wet soil is heavier than most people expect. Fix to masonry with appropriate anchors, not standard picture hooks. Item number 3, the layered container staircase, the height-varied display that creates instant lush abundance. The layered container staircase, using plant stands, wooden crates, upturned pots, and stacked bricks as risers. Arranging all containers at the same height is the single most common and most visually limiting mistake in small patio planting. A flat, uniform arrangement of pots, however beautiful each individual plant, looks static, underdeveloped, and far less abundant than the same plants arranged at multiple height levels. The layered container staircase uses height variation as the primary design tool to create a dynamic, layered, abundantly planted appearance from exactly the same number of plants. At ground level, containers of varying sizes form the base of the display. At the second level, containers elevated on risers, overturned terracotta pots of different sizes stacked as pedestals, reclaimed wooden crates available free from fruit markets, or stacked bricks painted in a coordinating color add the middle layer. At the third level, wall-mounted containers, hanging planters, or tall plants in floor-level containers reach eye height and complete the vertical composition. The most impactful version uses a single dominant color theme running through all the plants across all 3 levels. All purples and silvers, all oranges and golds, or all whites and greens, creating visual coherence that reads as professionally styled from any angle. Key benefit: Height variation creates the layered, abundant, richly planted quality that characterizes the most beautiful garden displays. And it costs nothing beyond creative use of objects you already have or can find free. The same 10 pots that looked ordinary at ground level look genuinely extraordinary when arranged across 3 height levels. Caution: ensure stability at every level. Elevated containers can topple in wind or when accidentally brushed. Use wide, stable risers rather than narrow, precarious stacks, and position the heaviest, largest containers at the lowest level of the arrangement. Item number 4. The Bistro Corner. The intimate dining vignette that makes your patio feel like a European cafe. The Bistro Corner. A small bistro table, matching chairs, surrounding fragrant planting, and an outdoor rug. The transformation of a small patio from a transitional outdoor space into a genuinely lived-in outdoor room requires one element above all others: a place to sit that feels comfortable, inviting, and designed for lingering. The Bistro Corner creates this with minimum footprint and maximum charm. A small bistro table and 2 matching bistro chairs. The compact, elegant French cafe furniture design that fits where nothing else works form the functional foundation. Find a used bistro set from a thrift store or marketplace listing and transform it completely with a coat of outdoor spray paint in matte black, warm white, or aged sage green. Position a tall container planting at the corner behind the table, a large pot of ornamental grass, a climbing plant on a simple tripod, or a standard trained fragrant shrub, to create the sense of enclosure and privacy that makes the seating feel like a destination. Flank the table with 2 medium containers of fragrant plants: lavender, rosemary, or scented geranium, close enough that the fragrance is present while seated. Then add the single enhancement that most consistently transforms the space: a small outdoor rug beneath the table. This one addition immediately makes the patio feel like a furnished room rather than a concrete surface with furniture placed on it. Key benefit: the Bistro Corner converts unused patio space into a genuinely used daily outdoor living area. Patios with a comfortable, enclosed, beautifully planted seating area get used every day. Patios without one get used occasionally. The outdoor rug alone, available for under $20, is consistently one of the highest impact single purchases in small patio transformation. Caution: fragrant plants placed beside the seating area should be pleasant and not overwhelming. 1 or 2 fragrant containers within arm's reach creates a beautiful sensory experience. 4 or 5 competing fragrances create sensory overload. Edit generously. Item number 5. The Climbing Plant Framework. The vertical green architecture that transforms boundaries into garden features. The climbing plant framework, using wire trellis, bamboo structures, and climbing annuals or perennials. If there is one planting investment that delivers more visual transformation per dollar spent than any other in small patio design, it is climbing plants on a simple framework. The ability of climbers to cover bare walls, soften hard fences, create green ceilings, and completely change the character of an outdoor space from exposed and hard to enclosed and garden-like is unmatched by any other planting approach. The framework does not need to be complex or expensive. A grid of tensioned wires fixed to the wall surface using vine-eye screws, the small screw and hooks available from hardware stores, provides a permanent, virtually invisible climbing structure that supports even heavy perennial climbers indefinitely. A fan of bamboo canes lashed at the top with garden twine creates an inexpensive, freestanding structure for container-grown climbers. For immediate, spectacular, low-cost impact, sow annual climbers at the base of any support structure. Sweet peas cover a 6-foot trellis in weeks with the most profusely fragrant flowers in the plant world. Morning Glory produces trumpet-shaped blooms in the most intense blue available in any climbing plant. Black-eyed Susan vine, Thunbergia, covers its support in warm orange and yellow continuously from midsummer through the first frosts. For permanent long-term coverage, Clematis begins producing meaningful displays from its second season and becomes increasingly spectacular with every passing year. Key benefit: a packet of annual climbing flower seeds costs $1 to $2 and produces a transformation that landscape contractors would charge hundreds of dollars to create with structural planting. Climbing plants are the single highest value investment per dollar spent available to the small patio gardener. No other plant category comes close. Caution: annual climbers need direct sowing after the last frost date for your region. Check the seed packet for timing specific to your climate. Sowing too early into cold soil produces poor germination. Sowing at the right time produces explosive, rapid growth that covers a trellis in weeks. Item number 6. The herb and edible patio garden. The beautiful, productive display that feeds you while looking stunning. The herb and edible patio garden, combining culinary herbs, edible flowers, and compact vegetables in a styled display. The small patio has a unique opportunity that large ornamental gardens do not: the chance to be simultaneously beautiful and genuinely productive. The herb and edible patio garden is a design style rooted in the formal potager gardens of France and the cottage kitchen borders of England. Traditions of combining beautiful and useful planting that honor both qualities simultaneously. The visual anchor plants are the most structurally beautiful culinary herbs. Rosemary, particularly upright varieties, provides evergreen architectural presence year-round. Bay laurel, trained as a standard lollipop form in a terracotta pot, is simultaneously formal, fragrant, and culinarily invaluable. Purple sage has beautiful, soft, velvety gray-purple leaves that provide one of the most sophisticated foliage effects available in any plant category. For color, edible flowers bridge the ornamental and productive traditions brilliantly. Nasturtiums produce vivid orange, yellow, and red flowers that are edible fresh in salads while simultaneously providing the most cheerful container display available. Calendula produces bright orange and yellow flowers continuously from spring through autumn. Edible, medicinal, and warmly beautiful. Label each herb with a handwritten chalkboard stake. This single detail elevates the display from a cooking ingredient collection to a designed, personal, story-rich garden feature instantly. Key benefit: the edible patio garden delivers 2 returns simultaneously: beauty and food. Every penny spent on plants feeds both your garden and your kitchen. And a labeled, styled herb display is genuinely one of the most admired and most personally characterful patio garden features available. The kind that guests photograph and ask about every single time. Caution: most culinary herbs require full sun, a minimum of 6 hours of direct sunlight daily, to grow productively and stay compact and healthy. A shaded patio is not ideal for most herbs. For shaded situations, substitute with shade-tolerant edible plants. Mint, Vietnamese coriander, and wood sorrel all perform well in partial shade. Item number 7. The evening atmosphere installation. The 3-layer lighting design that makes your patio magical after dark. The evening atmosphere installation, overhead fairy lights, mid-height lanterns, and ground-level solar uplighting. The single quality that most expands the usability and enjoyment of a small patio is effective evening lighting. And it is the quality most consistently missing from patios that are underused and underappreciated. The evening atmosphere installation uses 3 distinct lighting layers working simultaneously. The first layer is overhead. Solar string lights draped back and forth across the patio ceiling from wall to fence post, creating a warm canopy of light that is the most universally recognized quality of magical outdoor spaces anywhere in the world. The second layer is mid-height, a collection of lanterns on the bistro table, on container rims, and on low surfaces around the seating area, filled with battery-operated candles or small solar fairy light coils for warm, intimate, flame-like light at seated eye level. The third layer is ground level. Solar spike lights positioned to uplight the statement container planting, creating dramatic theater-style illumination that makes the featured plant look spectacular after dark, in a way that completely changes the patio's visual character from its daytime appearance. All three layers using solar power. No electrician, no wiring, no ongoing electricity cost. Key benefit: evening lighting transforms a patio that is used occasionally into one that is used every single evening through the warmer months. The total cost of all three lighting layers using solar products, approximately $30 to $50 for a modest patio space, represents extraordinary value for the quality of evening experience it creates every night for years. Caution: use warm white solar string lights rather than cool white. The difference in atmospheric quality is enormous. Warm white creates the golden, intimate, romantic glow of candlelight. Cool white creates the flat, clinical quality of a fluorescent office. This single choice determines whether the result feels magical or merely illuminated. 12. List item number 8. The Dye Water feature. The sound of water that adds luxury, calm, and movement. The Dye Water feature. A self-contained, solar-powered fountain in a styled container. The presence of water in a garden, even a tiny amount, even a single small self-contained fountain, adds dimensions of sensory experience that no other garden element provides. The sound of moving water is one of the most universally relaxing sounds available in the natural world, with documented effects on cortisol levels, blood pressure, and mood. The visual movement of a small fountain jet adds a dynamic, living quality to the patio that static planting cannot match. And it is genuinely simple and affordable to create. A self-contained solar-powered pump kit, the small pump, reservoir, and water outlet combined, is available from garden centers and online for $20 to $40 and requires only a container of water and adequate sun on the solar panel to operate. The container is where your creativity makes the difference. A large sealed ceramic pot creates a beautiful sculptural water reservoir. A galvanized metal trough creates an industrial chic feature of strong visual character. A wooden half barrel lined with a rubber membrane creates a warm, naturalistic water bowl that suits any patio style. Add floating water hyacinth for surface coverage and algae prevention, and dwarf water iris in a submerged pot for vertical interest and elegant purple flowers beside the water. Key benefit: the sound of water from even a very small fountain is audible and calming from the primary seating area, creating a sensory environment that makes the patio feel like a genuinely restorative space, rather than merely an outdoor area with furniture. This psychological quality, the feeling of genuine restoration from being in the space, is what separates patios that are loved from patios that are merely tolerated. Caution: position the solar panel where it receives direct, unshaded sun for a minimum of 6 hours daily. Without adequate solar charging, the pump runs intermittently or not at all, which defeats the purpose entirely. If your patio is heavily shaded, choose a pump kit with a separate solar panel on a long cable that can be positioned in a sunnier location away from the water feature itself. Item number 9, the living privacy screen. The green enclosure that creates seclusion and beauty simultaneously. The living privacy screen, using clumping bamboo, tall ornamental grasses, or fast-growing climbing plants, on a trellis framework. Privacy is the quality that most consistently separates patios that are genuinely loved and genuinely used from patios that feel exposed, uncomfortable, and less inviting than indoors. A patio visible from the street, overlooked by neighbors, or open to adjacent properties is a patio where the human instinct for shelter is unsatisfied. And that instinct is powerful enough to keep people inside on beautiful days rather than using an outdoor space that feels watched. The living privacy screen solves this beautifully. Clumping bamboo, specifically the non-invasive Fargesia varieties, grown in large containers, reaches 8 to 12 feet tall and creates a dense, graceful, rustling screen of extraordinary beauty. Clumping varieties stay in their container permanently without spreading, completely non-invasive, manageable, and increasingly beautiful with each passing season. For a flowering screening solution, a row of tall miscanthus ornamental grasses in matching containers creates a soft, plume-topped screen of spectacular late-season beauty. For the most affordable version, a simple trellis panel fixed to the boundary and planted with annual climbers provides effective visual privacy within a single growing season for under $10 in materials. Key benefit: a patio that feels private and enclosed is a patio that gets used for morning coffee, evening meals, reading, relaxing, and the daily rituals that make outdoor living genuinely valuable. The psychological impact of enclosure and seclusion on patio enjoyment is enormous and consistently underestimated by gardeners who focus on planting appearance rather than spatial experience. Caution: when choosing bamboo for container screening, the distinction between clumping and running varieties is absolutely critical. Running bamboo varieties spread aggressively through underground rhizomes and are invasive in many regions. Always verify that the variety you purchase is specifically labeled as clumping. Fargesia muriele and Fargesia natita are the most widely available and most reliably non-invasive clumping varieties for container growing. Item number 10, the seasonal refresh system. The year-round display strategy that keeps your patio beautiful in every month. The seasonal refresh system, a permanent evergreen framework with seasonally changeable plant layers updated 4 times per year. The final idea addresses the challenge that all the previous 9 contribute to, but none of them alone solves. Keeping the patio beautiful and interesting through all 12 months, rather than spectacular in summer and bare and uninspiring through the rest of the year. The seasonal refresh system is a design approach that organizes the patio garden into 2 distinct layers. The permanent layer, the containers, climbing plant framework, lighting installation, water feature, and evergreen structural plants, forms the consistent bones of the display that maintain visual quality in every season. Evergreen plants chosen specifically for their winter appearance, clipped box, hardy ferns, hellebores, liriope, virginia, and evergreen climbers, form the green backbone that ensures the patio retains beauty even when deciduous plants have disappeared. The changeable layer, refreshed 4 times per year, brings seasonal color, fragrance, and character within the permanent framework. Spring: early bulbs, primroses, and cool season violas. Summer: fragrant herbs, trailing annuals, and bold flowering perennials. Autumn: ornamental kales, dahlias, Japanese anemones, and richly colored heucheras. Winter: cyclamen, winter pansies, buried stems, and structural bare-stemmed shrubs with colored bark. Each seasonal refresh costs approximately $15 to $20 in new plants, a modest investment that maintains year-round patio quality. Key benefit: a patio that is beautiful in every season is a patio that is genuinely used in every season. And a genuinely used outdoor space transforms the quality of daily life in the home it belongs to in ways that go far beyond its visual appearance. Year-round garden quality is worth every penny and every hour of the seasonal refresh investment. Caution: the temptation during the seasonal refresh is to introduce too many new colors and styles that clash with the permanent framework. Always refresh within the same color palette you established when you first designed the space. Seasonal change should feel like a natural progression within a consistent design story, not a completely new garden 4 times per year. 10 ideas, 10 genuine transformations, all of them affordable, all of them DIY-able, and every single one of them capable of making your small patio look like it costs far more than it did. The statement container that anchors the space, the vertical wall garden that claims your largest canvas, the container staircase that creates instant abundance, the bistro corner that makes the patio a place people actually use, the climbing plant framework that transforms your boundaries, the edible garden that feeds you and looks stunning, the evening lighting that makes everything magical after dark, the water feature that adds the sound of luxury, the privacy screen that makes the space feel genuinely yours, and the seasonal refresh system that keeps it beautiful through every single month of the year. Thank you so much for watching today. We genuinely appreciate every single one of you being here. If today's video has genuinely excited you about what your small patio could become, please hit that like button right now. Share this with every small space gardener you know who has been looking at their outdoor space and wishing it could be more. And if you are not yet subscribed, now is your moment. Hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a weekly upload. We will see you in the very next video. Until then, look at your small patio with fresh eyes. See the potential rather than the limitations, and start creating the outdoor space you deserve. Happy gardening!